Yesterday we talked about solving systems using substitution. We did the notes packet and some of the examples together. We're going to run through the 5 homework problems on the back in case you had any questions on them. You can watch this to get through your 5 homework problems, okay, for a little review. So in homework number 1, we know m equals 5p plus 8 and m equals negative 10p plus 3. One thing that might help, identify the variable that's by itself. M is by itself. M is by itself. So we know if m equals 5p plus 8, that has to go in for m in the opposite equation, okay? All 3 of these things are the same. These look different, okay, but they're all equal. That's the equal sign means. So we can write our new equation, 5p plus 8 equals negative 10p plus 3. From there, we're solving our equation, getting our variables on one side, our numbers on the other. I'm going to move all my variables to this first side, so I'm going to add my 10p to this side to get 15p plus 8 equals positive 3. My numbers have to go to the other side of my variable, opposite side of my variable. Since I was adding 8, I'm going to subtract 8, so 15p equals negative 5. To get p by itself, I'm dividing by 15. P equals negative 1/3. We're reducing that fraction, negative 5 over 15 is negative 1/3. Once I know that, I just need to substitute it back into one of my equations. It doesn't matter which equation we pick when we do this. Either way, we're going to get the same answer. So I'm just going to use my first equation, which was m equals 5p plus 8. I know that this is p, so this is going for p. So m is 5, negative 1/3 plus 8. From right here, you can just plug that entire thing right into your calculator, okay? You're going to get a decimal, math, enter, enter to know that m equals 19 thirds. I know these aren't x's and y's, but we can still make an ordered pair. We just make our ordered pairs in alphabetical order, in ABC order. So since in the alphabet m comes first, our ordered pair would be 19 thirds, negative 1/3. Okay, try the rest of your homework problems, and then you can watch whatever ones, watch all of them so you can check them, and then you can watch any that you have questions on. So for number 2, a little bit different setup. We had 7x minus 8y equals 112, y equals negative 2x plus 9. So again, we know that y is the same as negative 2x plus 9. This expression, what equals y, goes in for y in the opposite equation. Remember, when we're substituting, everything stays exactly the same except for y gets out, negative 2x plus 9 gets substituted in, equals 112. Then we need to distribute what's in front of our parentheses. In this case, watch your sign, negative 8 is getting distributed. So 7x, negative 8 times negative 2x is positive 16x minus 72 equals 112. Combine our like terms that are on the same side, 23x minus 72 equals 112. Add our 72 to both sides. So 23x equals 184. Divide by 23. 184 divided by 23 is x equals 8. Once we know that, we go back to our equations. If we have an equation by itself that says y equals, this would be the easier one to use to substitute. Because then as soon as we substitute an 8, we'll have our answer. Because we know y equals negative 2x plus 9. Now we're going to use 8 for x. So y equals negative 2 times 8 plus 9. Again, write in your calculator, perfectly fine. Y equals negative 7. Our ordered pair for our solution, 8, negative 7. X, then y. Still in alphabetical order, x comes before y in the alphabet. Number 3, very similar setup. T equals 0.2s plus 10. 4s plus 5t equals 35. We know t. We know t. We know that this is the same as t. That goes in for t. When we make that new equation, 4s plus 5 times the quantity 0.2s plus 10 equals 35, we should know our substitution is okay if we only have the same variable throughout our whole new equation. Yes, we have two s's, but they're both s, so we can solve that. When we have s and t together, we can't solve that. So now, again, distribute, so 4s plus 1s, because 5 times 0.2 is 1, plus 50 equals 35. Again, just like last problem, combine our like terms. 5s plus 50 equals 35. Subtract 50 from both sides because I was originally adding it. So 5s equals negative 15. Divide by 5. You know that s equals negative 3. Again, I'm going to pick this first equation because it already has a t by itself. So when I substitute, my solving will be really easy. T equals 0.2 times negative 3 plus 10. Again, plug right in my calculator. I know that t equals 9.4. Putting my points in alphabetical order. ST, so negative 3, 9.4 is my solution. Again, remember, all of these answers that we're finding are where the points would cross on a graph. A lot of them where we're getting decimals, that's why we need to use substitution and not graphing, because if we graphed, we'd have to estimate our answers. Using substitution, we know our exact answers. We actually changed this problem right on your worksheet, changed it 27 to a 22. He made a mistake. This is what our problem should be. So number 4 of our homework should be c equals 3d minus 22. So again, here's c, here's c, here's what c equals. So that goes into my problem. So 4d plus 10 times, take out my c, substitute in 3d minus 22 equals 120. Distribute my 10, 4d plus 30d minus 220 equals 120. Just did my distributing. Combine my like terms. 4d plus 30d is 34d minus 220 equals 120. Add my 220 to both sides. 34d equals 340. Dividing both sides by 34. We know d equals 10. So again, I'm going to use that in my c equals equation because then I'll be able to go right to my answer. c equals 3d minus 22. So c equals 3 times 10 minus 22. So c equals 8. Again, when I make an ordered pair, if I don't have x's and y's, I just go in alphabetical order. So c times b4d, my solution is 8, 10. Right? And then last one, looking at number 5. This was similar to the very first one we did. Okay, h equals 6g minus 4, and h equals negative 2g plus 28. So here's my h, here's my h, here's what h equals. I'm going to substitute that in there. So 6g minus 4 equals negative 2g plus 28. This one's the one where we get to get our variables on one side, our numbers on the other. So if I make this my variable side, and this my number side, I've got to move that negative 2g over to my variable side. Since it's negative 2g, I have to add 2g to both sides. So 8g minus 4 equals 28. And I've got to move my negative 4 to my number side, so I have to add 4 to both sides. So 8g equals 32. Dividing both sides by 8, I know that g equals 4. Once I know that, for this one, when I substitute, it doesn't matter which one I use because they both have h by themselves. I'm just going to use the first one because it's the first one. H is 6g minus 4. So h is 6 times 4 minus 4. So h equals 20. Put in my ordered pair, A, B, C, D, E, F, G comes first. And H. So my solution is 420.